Oh, shit. Hey, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. I wasn't really sleeping. I'm just fucking with you. Today we have with us the wonderful Momma Deb right over here. And she is going to share whatever version of a I got the fuck out of town with the religion shit story that she has. And yeah, so let's get right into it. What the hell happened there? She's like, no, I'm not. Screw you. I'm out of here.
She bailed.
Well,
sorry, McKinnon, your record has just been shattered.
You
thought you had
a word. Like,
you thought you had a good thing going there, McKinnon. You just got McKinnon.
Well, I know that she was on another show earlier, so
I think she pushed the wrong button.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Oop.
I touched the button.
Keep your hands away from the keyboard.
Hand check.
All right, so I guess you heard what I said before you pulled a McKinnon on us and fucked off without any word.
She hates us. Why?
Yes, I did hear it, and did the McKenna bail out faster than I did, or I bailed out faster than she did?
McKinnon, it's McKinnon, yeah, is a he, okay. But he does all the what do you call it?
He has the most Irish goodbye I've ever seen.
Oh,
documentaries is the word I was looking for.
Okay, gotcha.
It's working on the one with Hovind right now, I think. Which should be pretty funny. All right, yeah. So, well, welcome back, Momma Deb.
Thank you.
I'm disappeared into the void.
I called it. I said you hit a button.
I actually got a text from my producer Beck, and he's like, "Don't touch any buttons."
And you did not listen.
See, it serves me right. I should have listened to him. He guides me in all things.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Listen to your producers. They know best.
Yes, they do.
Well, current company excluded.
No, you got good ideas, Mikey. So I'm not even gonna go there. All right, so yeah, let's get into this. Deb, take us on that journey that you had finding your way out of the ridiculous belief system you were once a part of.
Like for me, it's literally been a lifelong journey. I remember as a little girl just feeling like I didn't know the rules to life. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. No one is explaining like what I was supposed to do with my life. My parents had a very destructive marriage, very destructive,
wow.
And it was, I'm grateful that they got married. I'm grateful that my sister and I were born, but other than that, they should have never been together. And for that, we did a lot of, we saw a lot of trauma and stuff like that. And when I was growing up, it was always like, my mother was Catholic, but she's what you call a part-time Catholic. She only went during, the days of holy obligation, Easter, Christmas, that stuff. She didn't attend every Sunday like, a good Catholic should, but she insisted that I was Catholic. And I just never felt, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? What are the rules? How do I follow this? And I just didn't know. I didn't know what the rules were. And my dad was like, whatever, for a long time. And then he married my stepmom. He married my stepmom, who's the most wonderful human on the planet next to my sister Annie. And she guided us and got us back into the Lutheran church, which was much needed in my life, some stability type of thing, because I had no stability in my life. And but the problem is that I always felt less than. My thoughts, my beliefs, my questions were stifled, and I wasn't allowed to.
Not allowed to question.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to think. I need to just go with the flow and do what a girl is supposed to do. Well,
it's all that bite model shit, right?
Yes. The problem was I didn't want to do what a girl was supposed to do. I wanted to go out and I wanted to drive the tractors and I wanted to buck bales and I wanted to do all the really cool things that the boys were allowed to do.
Whoa,
yes.
whoa. Buck bales.
Buck bales. Yes, I wanted to.
Fucking
Make
up
up
on the
words
truck
here,
and shit.
Deb. I don't know what you're used to, but you're not going to just create
It's
vocabulary out of
Truly,
nothing.
it's a true term. It's a true term. You pick up
It
the
is.
bales once they've been put into bales. You pick them up by two strings and you buck them up with your knee and throw them up onto a tractor-driven trailer,
Like a
and then
flatbed
the
or
person-
something.
Yes,
And you wanted to do this.
I did because I
On
was told I
purpose.
couldn't. Yes. Yes.
Don't you realize now that was a terrible thing to want to do?
It is, especially since I have a bad back now. I can barely bend over and tie my shoe. It was a bad thing to want to do, but I so desperately desired to fit in and get the attention and stuff that I needed from my father and my mother. And like I said, it wasn't until my stepmom came in, there was some normalcy brought to that whole thought process. I just remember questioning everything, and it's so silly, you guys, but like one of my very first memories is that I was watching a Muhammad Ali fight. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah. And he was fighting a white guy, and I don't know who it was. I have no clue because I was so little. And I remember cheering for Muhammad Ali because I thought, well, this guy, he's doing it. He's winning. So I'm going to cheer for the guy who's winning, right? And getting told by my mother that, hey, we don't do this in this house. I'm going to talk to your father about the way that you're acting. I'm like, the hell did I do wrong? What did I do wrong, Mom? And I just always searched for that. I never understood the inequalities. I never got any of it. And they said a girl can't. I went, oh yeah, let me show you what this girl can do. And for that, I was given the whole the black sheep of the family because I bucked against everything that religion told me to do. I bucked bales.
Yeah.
I actually, really honest to God, had to get one of my brothers to drive the tractor and give me a turn so I could even do it. And my grandpa, and my dad were gone, so I was able to do it. Because had they seen me do it, they would have paddled my butt. Because that's not. I needed to go in the house, make the meal, and mix up the Kool-Aid. That was what I needed to do because I was a girl, And it just that continued throughout my life. Like whatever the church says is the woman thing to do, that's what I should be doing. And I never understood that. I never understood what are the rules. Show me the rules and I'll follow the rules. But the rules don't make any sense to me. I don't understand why I can't go out and get a job. I don't understand why I can't be the one earning the paycheck. And
Wait, you couldn't even go out and get a job?
No,
like
as far as
job or
as far as I was allowed to have a part-time job as a teenager, but once I got married, I was expected to be at home and be
expect to be at home. I thought you said a comb. I'm like, why would you want to be at home?
I wouldn't want to be at home taking care of my husband and my babies or whatever the case may be, and it just never fit with me. And the thing that I think when I started to buck the system the most was that I right out of high school, I said, I'm not doing this. I'm going to have a career. And I went to EMT school and I became an emergency medical technician. And later on became a paramedic. But was never enough. It was never enough for my family. I was not doing what I should have done. I was out saving people's lives, but I was still inferior to my brothers because they were male and I'm female. And it just always bothered me that was what happened, and during my teen years, I had a very
teen years. I remember those days.
Yeah.
I know.
You don't
It's
remember
like
them at all?
100,000 years ago.
Mike
is they're completely blacked out with Mike.
I mean, I'm sure they happened.
They tell me it did.
I had to get from point A to point C, and I imagine there was a B somewhere in there.
Well, when I was 15, my mental illness started rearing its ugly head. And I have a major depressive disorder, and I have an anxiety disorder. At that time, that's what I had. And no one noticed. And again, so I felt like I had been skipped over. Nobody noticed that I was spending hours in bed or not wanting to join in family things. And
nobody noticed?
They just thought I was being a teenager, was angst. I just wanted to be by myself.
Oh, of course.
That's what I thought. And I had a dear friend of mine who's still a friend of mine to this day. He, bless his heart, he sent me a rose and said, I miss your smile.
Heart.
Yeah, bless his heart. I miss your smile, Deb. What's going on with you? And that kind of clicked something with me. And at that time, my parents decided, meaning my stepmom and my dad, decided to rejoin the church. So I'm like, okay. So I went to church and still going, what are the rules? What am I supposed to do? How come I can't be an altar boy? I'm a girl. I can't be an altar boy, that kind of stuff.
Can't be an altar girl. They don't have those.
They did not until probably my 17th year. When I was 17, they started having girls do it. But before that, no. And it just started all these questions in my head.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not Catholic, never was Catholic. What the hell is an altar boy? What do they do?
They go up and they light the candles at the beginning and at the end, put them out at the end of
Y'all
the
have candles?
Yes.
For what?
I have no idea at this point in my
There's
life.
candles shit in all kinds of religions.
Yeah,
like,
they
And
light
in no
the
black
candles.
churches.
It's all about
Why
light.
Why no damn candles in the church? This is a fire hazard. We're renting this building. We can't have no open flames.
they won't be running up there, lighting up their doobies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know how much product is in the air? We can't be having no exposed flames.
No,
Blow the whole block up.
Well, perfume and shit.
Yes. You know, grandma had to put 13 squirts of her stinky perfume on there. That's half kerosene. You take out the whole first row.
I remember that. Well, you know what else they did is at the beginning of the service, they put up the little, like what the book was and what the verse was and where the preacher or the priest would be quoting from the Bible. So you could follow along and see what his thoughts were. And, I think that Neil is right. The reason they light the fires is because in most religions, some type of fire or light is a good symbol. It's a symbol of Christ. It's a symbol of awakening, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real quick, before you continue on, it's a symbol of awakening. We'll leave it there for a brief second because I just want to say, happy birthday, HR!
Happy birthday, HR. Happy birthday. I'd sing happy birthday to her, but I don't have a great singing voice, so it might, kill some people. But
it'll be her last birthday.
Sing it like Deb. Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, that's not happening.
To you.
Let me go get some whipped cream so I can sing it properly.
Oh God. So like the thing was is I got introduced to a group of I went to what do you call it? Youth group. I went to youth group. And I actually found a bunch of confused teenagers who were dealing with a bunch of mental health disorders. And I'm like, oh my God, I found my people, right? And that's really what I thought. Oh, jeepers. I really thought that like I had found some common ground.
I won't put them through it.
I'm not going to get that out of my head for the longest time now. Thank you, Neil.
You know what? We're already here. We might as well just go ahead and, you know what I mean? We're just going to keep wanting to go back to it.
Well,
let's do this.
Okay, well, you start.
As a group, let's do this. We're going to do this for HR. We're going to do it the Marilyn Monroe style.
Oh, good God. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus, are we?
This is happening because we're just going to keep joking about it until we do it. So let's go ahead, be mature about this.
You do it like Elvis, maybe? Or... Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to HR. To you.
Does that count?
There we go.
Sure, that works. We got it
There
out
we
there.
go.
More or less.
She's probably cackling right now. So
She probably is. She's like, oh God, those people.
I didn't know overprotected atheists worked for you.
Well, I didn't know that either. But a fine employee she is. A fine employee.
Give her a raise.
Yes. I'll give her a raise.
One too.
Yeah, that would be nice, right? Me too. I'd like one.
Now that it just popped back in my head because somebody said raise, and that leads to money thoughts in my head. Mikey, I forgot to pay you.
Oh, I forgot to remind you.
It's okay. I'll make it happen. Also, from the last episode, I forgot to do a thank you tweet. So thank you, everybody. I completely I shit the bed on that one. Let's just put it that way.
I was wondering when my phone still had battery when I woke up this morning. I was wondering why I could just turn it on and it work.
That's funny.
But Fire Awakening is where we left off.
Yeah. So when we rejoined, my dad and my stepmom rejoined the Lutheran Church. So it's an offspring. If you look back, it's an offspring of the Catholic Church. But I found a group of really confused and teenagers who had mental disorders just like I did. And I thought, oh my God, thank God, I finally found a place where I belong. But then I noticed that, oh, that's very sweet, Cosmic Kyle. Thank you. I noticed that
Still don't know what's so cosmic about him, but anyway.
It's the beautiful background, you know.
He's
and
made of stardust.
Yes.
Star stuff.
I just thought there was a lot of space. Never mind. I'm kidding, Kyle.
It's spicy in here today.
Oh yeah.
Spicy. Well, that's because I had spicy wontons last night.
Spicy's good. I prefer to be a spicy human. I like to be fun and do whatever.
Are you well seasoned, Deb?
I'm 52, sir. I'm well seasoned.
Got some good herbs and spices going.
Oh, sir. It's a part of my daily routine to maintain good mental health.
It's spice.
Yeah. Well, I live in Oregon. Everything's legal here, so
Oh, you talking about like spice melange? I wasn't talking about that. Dang,
I
you got the crazy.
That and like a little mushroom.
Kathy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh, this
that stuff definitely. It's part of my life.
Yes.
But yeah, so I found this group of teenagers who were going through a lot of the same teenage angst that I was, and I found a way to bond with my stepbrothers, because when my dad married my stepmom, I inherited 4 brothers, who are awesome human beings, especially during that time. One of them is not so awesome anymore. We don't talk about him too much. Just let you know, we call him the preach. And after 5 o'clock, you don't answer a phone call from the preach because he's drunk and he's going to be talking shit to you. So you just don't answer the phone. But yeah, so we started, and as we grew up, I just started questioning more stuff. I'm like, why can't I? Why am I not allowed? And I had a boyfriend that I was very serious about at the time, teenagers. And he told me, he goes, why do you have to question God's plan for you? I'm like, well, if you'll tell me what God's plan is, maybe I'll be able to follow it. But nobody's telling me what the plan is. And I'm absolutely without guidance in this life that I'm living. And it's not working. So, when I graduated high school, I did the thing that everybody said, don't do. I went to EMT school. I became an EMT. And oh, dear God, I had sex out of wedlock. Got pregnant. That was the toughest conversation I have ever had. Because I had to call my dad and I said, Dad.
Ask him for how to do it, or?
No, I had to call him and tell him I was pregnant. So, yeah. And
dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. He goes, well, are you going to get married? And I said, yeah, I guess so. He goes, well, that's what you need to do.
No, you don't need to do that.
I didn't need to do it, but I did it. I pulled it under family pressure and I got married. And that marriage lasted a whole whopping year and a half before he was very abusive mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. And one day I was holding our daughter, which I did have a beautiful daughter with him. So that right there was worth anything I went through. I got shoved to the ground and told I was worthless. And I had my baby in my arms and I'm like, I'm out. I am out. Yep. So I left, and that was the beginning. Right there was the beginning of my unraveling and taking apart my relationship with the church, because no man should put his hand, or no person should put their hands on their spouse or their significant other in anger to say, I am the superior one. And it just clicked with me. I'm like, I'm not raising my daughter like this.
Yep.
And
it's like, fuck you.
It took me a long time, Neil, but I will tell you that I think it was a year and a half later. Unfortunately, I had been given a sexually transmitted disease by that man, and I just didn't know it. Yeah. So I had, and I'm not shy. If you want me to not name it, I don't care. I won't. But
it's entirely up to you.
He gave me chlamydia, and it sits dormant in women for years, and it did. And the only way that I knew that I had chlamydia is because I became pregnant with my my second husband, and I lost a set of twins. That's the only way that I knew that I had chlamydia, because they started to miscarry. They're like, oh, she's got chlamydia. So I did find strength in myself, because when I found him and I saw him, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, you have fucking chlamydia. You gave it to me and you cost me my children. He's like, oh, it wasn't me. You was somebody else. I punched him in the nose and I broke his nose. I've never felt
good for you.
more satisfied in my life, because I'm like, you pig, you awful person. And by then he had written his daughter off, which is never okay. You don't do that. You don't write off your children. It's just not something you should do. And as I continued through my life, I became a paramedic, and I found my reason for being on this earth. I finally had an idea why I was here. I was meant to help people. And I was a paramedic for 15, 18 years. And it was the most satisfying, lovely, beautiful thing I had ever done with my life. This side of having children. I had my beautiful children, but I didn't need the church. I found satisfaction and happiness in being a paramedic, being by myself, learning to stand tall as a human being.
Want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Nobody needs the church.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Nobody needs it. And I understand that now as a 52-year-old, but as a 30-year-old, I still it was a struggle, and
oh shit, you're nipping at my heels, Momma Deb.
I'm getting up there, man.
When you both become my age, you'll truly understand life.
We have both been your age, okay?
What do you mean?
I am thousands of years old.
Oh, okay.
Trapped on this planet.
But I what hit me where I kind of backslid a little bit towards religion again is I lost my brother. My stepbrother, who is only 8 months older than I am. And we were so close and so tight. And losing him absolutely devastated me. There was a period of about 5 years where I was in this deep, dark hole of depression and could not find my way out. And I clung to the only thing that got me out of that depression was I was clinging to the thought that I would see him one day. Yeah. There is a heaven. I will go to heaven. I will see my brother. I will have that wonderful, loving relationship back. And that's what pulled me out of it. And, I went back to work and I started chatting with my best friend at the time. And she's like, Deb, you see your brother in everything. You don't need to go to heaven to see your brother. You'll hear a song on the radio and it'll remind you of your brother. And that's a piece of your brother that you have. You will have that beautiful, wonderful memory. And I said, you're right.
That's how people live on.
Exactly. So I started, I started drifting away again and really clawing myself out of that depression. And it cost me my second marriage. Losing my brother in that depression cost me my second marriage. I will own my part to that. Absolutely. Because I could not be there and I could not be what he needed me to be. He has his own fault in our marriage, but he was like, well, what happened to you? You used to be so submissive.
Well, hold on. He had no understanding for what you were going through.
Oh, no, right. No. Because he was very much I live in this box here, and what little emotional support or physical support I choose to throw at us should satisfy her. He absolutely 100% told me when I said to him, I need to go to a doctor. I need to get on antidepressants. He goes, why? Can't you just dig yourself out of it? I'm like, I'm fucking drowning and thinking about suicide, and I have 3 kids, and you're telling me to dig myself out of it.
Wow.
And he was no support. He didn't know how to be supportive at all.
Right.
He just knew that this is what he did, and I should just do the other thing, which is be the mom, be the woman, raise the kids, take care of the kids, work part-time. That was my job. And I wasn't falling or conforming into the norms of how when we first got married, I did. But losing my brother really shook me to my core and made me think, okay, I'm not going to be less than I am. I'm not toning myself down for anyone, because I am a beautiful, wonderful, supportive, loving human being. And I will give anybody the shirt off my back if you ask for it. But all I ask in return is that you support me.
I thought you were going to say wash it after.
No, well, washing it would be good too. I just want you to be my friend.
Stretch it out.
No, I'm pretty chesty. I don't think you would have to stretch anything out after you, if you borrowed one of my shirts.
Pretty chesty too.
They're pretty, yeah. And that's when my best friend Shannon, she was my strength, and she taught me how to be who I am today. She really did. And she taught me to stand and be strong and look at things in a different perspective, because I could look at it as like, I don't need that plan. I'm making my own plan. I don't need rules. I'm going to make my own rules. And I started to really, when raising my children, I absolutely 100% taught them that they were allowed to be free thinkers. They're allowed to be critical. They're encouraged to be critical thinkers. At the time, I was a theist, and I raised 3 atheist kids because I did not put pressure on them to conform.
Yeah, let them choose what they want, or let them become
be who
what
they are.
Want.
Yes, and that's exactly it. None of them believe in God. They it's a little bit complicated.
I don't know how anybody could today. I don't.
And it's funny because I always said, even when I was going to church, I always said organized religion is bullshit, because I have a problem with, especially like the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, in my opinion, is kind of like a cult, because they hide pedophile priests in retirement centers and they cover up the crimes that they do. When you are in a cult, they cover up the sins and they put this merry little picture out there for the world to see. And that's what the Catholic Church does. And again, that's just my opinion, but I experienced it in my lifetime.
It's also the truth.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And it just...
It's one of my biggest beefs. If God is real, how come he's not stopping all these priests from raping children?
Exactly. There's no... Why does all this evil and just god-awful evil...
He created evil, even says so in the Bible.
Well, it has to, because you can't have good without evil.
I create the light,
right?
the dark. I create good, I create evil. You're a douche canoe.
But I began my complete, like, I'm leaving the church, I'm done with it, I'm going to be a free thinker. And I had to talk to my children, because my 3 children are some of the most... I'm biased, I know. They're so smart, and they look at things in such a way that I was like, you guys, I need help. And unfortunately, all 3 of my kids have inherited my mental health disorders, and of some kind or another. And they're like, Mom, just take a deep breath. Just let it all go and be you. Be who you are. And when I took that to heart and it came from my daughter, I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing? I've been living this masked shell of an existence. Even with helping people, saving people's lives, where I was my happiness, I still hid behind this little mask of, this is what you shouldn't be doing this. And I wouldn't tell people what I was doing because it wasn't the role for a woman. And I think the freest day of my life was when I realized that my daughter was right. And believe me, I told her, and she'll never let me live it down. I called her and I said, you know what? You were right, baby girl. You were right. I just need to be me. And me is awesome. I pride myself on being a good human being. I pride myself on being away from religion and still being a good human being, because the religious people will tell you, you can't be good. If you're an atheist, you're bad. No, sweetheart. No. It's not true. Because
I'm horrible.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I don't think you're horrible at all, sir. I really don't. I don't know you that well, but I don't think you're horrible at all.
Give it time.
Give it time. And I think that, maniacal. Yes. I actually had, like, when I was still, before the point where I'm at right now, I joined a group of women that were making quilts. They were making quilts for soldiers that were fighting the war. And I got told that I couldn't be part of their group because I had atheist children. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's a quilt.
And I'm like, exactly. It's a quilt, right? And I said, well, why is that? Well, you obviously did something wrong as a parent because you have atheist children who are bad people. I lost my mind, because I'll be honest, I will put my children up against anybody's church children, and my children are going to outshine yours, because they were allowed to be critical thinkers. They were encouraged to be critical thinkers, and they knew what they wanted in life. And I told them, you can achieve anything. Just put in the damn hard work, put in the work. There's no role. There's no gender roles or anything like that for you guys. Be what you want to be and do it. Just, be who you are. And when I finally achieved that, I was like, oh my God, some weight has been lifted off of me. I don't have that BS anymore. And I remember calling my best friend Shannon and going, I think I got it. I think I'm free. I feel so light, and I'm so happy that I was able to serve my community for the years that I served my community as a paramedic. I'm awesome. That's awesome. But I'm ready to do something else. So we moved up here to Oregon. Actually, I'm sorry, like a week before we moved up to Oregon, I got the news that my friend Shannon had passed away. And she threw a pulmonary embolism after surgery, and it was gone. There was nothing we could do. I have never been more devastated. I was actually more devastated from losing her than I was my brother or my grandma, because she was my best friend for 22 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And she helped me. She helped me to realize what kind of a person I truly am. And that being the person that I truly am and being an atheist is the best version of me that I could possibly put out to the world. I'm going to do more good now that I'm true to myself.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
And that was, I mean, honestly, you guys, I tell people this and they're like, holy shit. But I found out she died, and I have no memory of the first 48 hours after her death, because apparently I drunk myself to the point of passing out. I'd wake up and I'd drink some more and pass out some more because I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with it. And I was questioning, well, what now? What am I supposed to do? Am I not going to ever see Shannon again? I can't go. I don't believe in heaven. What the hell am I supposed to do here?
Right.
And I just remember.
Cherish her memory.
Yes. It's absolutely what I do. I cherish her memory every damn day. And I'll be standing outside and I'll hear the window go by, and I'll be like, oh, and the memory will float in my head about sometime we did something stupid together, or we did something wonderful together. Sorry. And
you get love from the chat, so
it helps me to remember her and to be that way with her, because I remember, and I'm sorry if this is not appropriate to say, but I have to tell you the first thing that Shannon ever told me when I was like, I have to get out of this gender freaking strangulation I feel like I'm in. I need to be me. And she says, you know what, Deb? You need to tell anybody who wants to hold you down. And I hope this is allowed. She said, you don't pay my bills, you don't eat my pee, so you don't get to tell me what to do. And I was like, oh, sis, I didn't
P word.
Yeah. Well, she would say it out loud because that's just her, right?
Talking about pussy, right?
Yes, sir. She delivered that. We were working together as paramedics, and she was driving, and she said flat out, you don't pay my bills, you don't eat my pussy, you don't get to tell me what to do. I was like,
I vaguely remember those.
God dang, I love her. I love her. That's funny, And to this day, I hold on to that thought, and it may be a little less crude as I get a little older, but it absolutely is the truth. If even my husband does do those things for me, doesn't get to tell me what to do. He doesn't get to tell me what to do, because he tells me, he goes, listen, I know you live by Shannon's, her motto. He says, but honey, I do those things for you, but I like you a hell of a lot more now than I did when I first married you, because you are so much happier. So much freer. Nice. And I will pop off with shit, and he's like, oh my God, I didn't know my wife was funny. I said, well, I never felt free enough to say this kind of stuff, and I think I fight every day not to fall back into that pattern, to be like, oh, I'm even trying to take the vernacular out of my vocabulary. I'm like, I don't want to say, oh, for God's sakes, or I don't want to say, like,
oh, that doesn't matter. That's all fucking figures of speech nowadays.
That's very true. That's very true.
I swear to God, it is, right?
That's what I'm trying to really get rid of. But even battling the way I battle with my mental health, and I do battle really hard with it, I can wake up some days and I'm like, I can't get out of bed. This is awful. And I'll hear something and I'm like, you know what? My brother would be telling me, get your ass out of bed, Deb, and do you, and then I hear a song on the radio, and I'm infamous for cranking it up so loud that like 4 cars away can hear my music, and I'm singing and
windows shatter.
I'm pretty sure I could if I wanted to, but
so when Whitney comes on, you just got to dance with somebody, huh?
Oh, I got to sing at the top of my lungs, and I got to that, and come on, Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Everybody's a small town girl, okay? Everybody when that comes on. You could be the boy. What, I can't remember where the boy.
Just a city boy.
There you go.
Born and raised in South Dakota.
That is. I knew you knew.
Right.
But it's like little things like that. There was a song back when I was little, but not when I was little, but when I was an adult. But Shannon used to go to a skating ring because she was like cool like that, right? And there was a song called "The Freak," and I don't know the exact name of it. I listen to it occasionally, but that reminds me of her every time because she had this little skating routine. She would do it every time. Look, every time. That's it. It makes me smile. Is that actually the name of it? The Freak?
The Freak, I think.
The Freak.
The Freak. So I smile every time I hear that. And that's how I keep her memory alive, And I hate to say it, but Baby Got Back was the one song that my very white, very musically, very rhythm challenged brother would karaoke to. And
FYI, if you want to look up the song, it's by a group, I guess, called Chic.
That's it. Yeah. And so, like, Baby Got Back, that comes on, I rip that thing up because it reminds me of my brother and the strength that I got from my brother to be free and be who I am, So I don't have to have a heaven. I don't have to have a hereafter. I have them with me in my heart at all times. And when I'm down, I pull on those memories. It doesn't have to be this big thing that says, you have to go to this church on this day and you have to be this ultra conservative, ultra good person in their mind, and that's the only way you're getting to heaven. That's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Because I know some of the best people that I have been blessed, and I'm blessed to have in my life, is the community that I chat with right now. And I have 2 guys in my life that have helped me in so much, and I don't care. They can be embarrassed. Student Dr. Ben and Uncle Beck, they have been my strength to make that final conversion over to where I'm like, you know what? I don't believe in the church anymore. I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist.
I've never heard of them. You heard of those 2 people?
Never ever.
Never heard of either one of them.
Student kind of rings a bell.
Ben.
Student Dr. Ben.
Uncle Beck.
I know it's rough. It's a hard.
Oh no, that's Uncle Ben that makes the rice.
Yeah, you're right.
No, Uncle Buck is from that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
John Candy.
You have a lot more hair in your nose than my father. Thank you for noticing.
Fantastic. and I think they welcomed me into a community. Like I came in and I played trivia with them a couple times, and they said, they're like, come back. And when I had a falling out with somebody I would have considered like probably one of my best friends, those 2 stood by me and said, no, you're not taking this. This guy is actually really destructive and he's stalking you, Deb, and you need to stand up. And honestly, it's because of their encouragement. Again, I remembered who I am. I stood up and I'm like, no, it ain't happening. I remember where I come from. And I had a sassy, wonderful, non-religious grandma who was like, you are everything you want to be. Thank you, Beck.
I think the love used for you. I think the fuck used for us.
Yeah, probably.
I think the first part's for you, yeah.
And it just it just amazes me that I came in and this community opened up their arms and said, come in, no questions asked, just be you, Deb. When I wanted to start a podcast, they said, yeah, absolutely. What's your ideas? And I bounced it off and they said, be you, Deb. When I was so nervous to come here.
You need to give me a link to that podcast.
I will.
Have you done them? Because I don't have that in the description. There's no links on your profile. So all I have is Twitter.
I don't know how to do that, but my producer, Uncle Beck, could probably handle that for you because I am truly computer illiterate. He has taught me everything I know about any of this stuff.
Give me links, Uncle Beck.
See? But yeah, like I said, finding this community is the first time that Deborah, whole real Deborah, has felt at home. And feeling at home is so important to me. I have a group of support. They don't care. They don't care if I'm struggling with my mental health. They don't care if I'm having a bad day. They support me. And they proved that so much. Maybe it's a month ago, I don't know. Unfortunately, a family member of mine committed suicide. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't he reach out to me? This is what I do. I want to reach out and help everyone that has these problems. I'll talk to you for hours. But yet an 18-year-old boy thought that that's the only way that he could go on with anything is to stop it. And I remember telling Beck and Ben, I'm like, this is what happened. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. I lost my goddamn mind. There were a couple times on streams where I was screaming at people, yelling at people, because it was the emotional stuff from what I was going on. And I remember Beck coming into me and say, hey, you need to take a deep breath. Sweetheart, take a deep breath. You are emotionally just done. You're over. It's too much for you. Let's take a deep breath. Let's not come back into the chat quite yet until you get your shit together, but you can get it together, you know? And they are gracious enough to allow me to apologize for my behavior. And they're still my friends. If I had done that with people in the church, they'd be like, well, you know, you did this and this is wrong. And people in the church were telling my adopted sister that her son was going to hell because he killed himself. You don't say that to a parent. You don't say that to somebody who has just lost their son. And I've never been more sickened in my life, to be perfectly honest, because I was like, oh, y'all are good human beings. You guys are all, you know, the church is great and you never do anything wrong. But yet you say that to a grieving mother.
It's unbelievable.
What? Yeah, because I don't care what anybody says. That boy's memory will live on forever. And he was a good boy. He was a good boy. He had his demons, but he was a good boy. And you're not going to tell me that some God out there just decided, well, he killed himself, so he's no longer any good. That doesn't work that way as far as I'm concerned. You know, not anymore anyway.
It's usually in times when people die or when people are being born that they really try to put the most control over people because they really can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So what your family member said, well, they're burning in my hell. It's like, well, I guess I can't refute that, can I? Because your whole shit's made up, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I guess
exactly.
Anybody can be going anywhere in your little world.
And I think that you just nailed that on the head, hit the nail on the head, because when you're in a time of grief, and it doesn't matter who it is, you're going to grieve. You know, as parents, we are not ever prepared to lose our children. So that is a special kind of raw grief that is almost unbearable, I would think. And for someone to say, well, I'm going to just point this out to you and have some type of control or to put you into a space, it makes me sick. Because what that mom needed was a hug. What that mom needed was, we will always remember your son. Your son did this for us, and his memory will live with us forever for that kind act that he had. Not, you're going to hell. What the hell? Yeah. He was 18 years old.
Fucking bullshit. Such bullshit.
And I was just reading a comment that sometimes religious people turn into monsters, because that's actually something that I remember when my kids were young. I was looking for a babysitter for all three of them. So, you know, I had a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. And they're like, well, here's a person, and they're from the Church of Latter-day Saints, and that means they're a good person. I'm like, what? So you're telling me because they're Mormon, that automatically makes them a good person? Oh, sis, we need to sit down and talk, because Mormon is another thing, religious belief that I believe is a cult because of the way they handle things. And I'm like, that doesn't make you a good person. That makes you brainwashed. That makes you hide the demons instead of trying to deal with the demons. So it's just that whole thought process is really mind-blowing to me.
FYI, I added the YouTube channel to the description box.
Thank you very much.
I already put it in the chat. We need to get Momma Deb over 100 so she can make a custom URL.
She's at 80 now because I wasn't subbed and I just subbed.
I appreciate that so very much. Ben has been really working really hard. Ben and Beck have been working really hard to get me over 100.
I got 3 more accounts I could sub with.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go. I'd be so grateful.
Open up the sock drawer, everybody. We're getting her to 100.
And, you know, and I really appreciate that, because when I do my show, I try to, is it okay to talk about it here?
This is your show, dude. You can do whatever you want.
When I do the reason that I started the show is because I really wanted to really take the stigma away from mental health. I want people to know there are people like you out there that are suffering from these problems, and you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be to the point that you kill yourself because you can't deal anymore. Because I tell my people who listen to me all the time, and I made a big whopping 14 listeners the last time I was on, which was awesome for me. I never made double digits before. But I was, I tell them all the time, if you have something that you want us to talk about, tell me about it. I'll research it. We'll talk about it. We'll do whatever. I just want people to know they're not alone, because being alone is one of the worst feelings in the world. And being alone and struggling with a mental health disorder is the worst, absolutely the worst, because you don't know where to go. You don't know where to turn, and you think you're the only one. And that is not true. There's people out there to help you. And if you got to call me personally, my phone number is listed. You got to call me. I will talk to you, because I would rather spend 8 hours on the phone talking to a total stranger, getting them through something, than to hear that one more person lost their life to suicide because they didn't have anybody to reach out to. And
Right.
that's exactly why I did what I do what I do, because I don't want that to happen to people, and I think overall people are good people. We definitely have evil, nasty people in the world, but I want to believe that overall most people are good. And I want to be one of those. I definitely want to be one of those. A little warm in there, Mike?
Water's empty.
So noted. So, I just, that's I think that's where I got to where I am. I also, I remember during the second divorce, the guy that wouldn't support me and think I need to pull him, I need to just fix myself. I remember him telling me when we were in court signing our paperwork that he says, well, I just wanted you to know that this whole thing has caused me to be on antidepressants. I looked at him and I'm like, unless you want to get slapped, get the fuck away from me. Because I begged you. I pleaded with you to help me get on antidepressants. And you wouldn't do it for me. But now it's okay that you be on them. It's okay that you're on them. And I'm glad for you that you're on them now. And I'm actually friendly with him now because we had children to raise together. But I just wanted to punch him right in the face. I'm like, no son of a bitch. I didn't need help.
It's the double standard bullshit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just it's very, for me, it's just very disheartening that people can actually still be that way to other people. I think, Neil, you and I are of a similar generation where we had grandparents and parents who said, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You'll be all right. Just work through anything,
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. And, I remember my grandma telling me when I
pretty much did back then.
Oh, yeah, you had to, because there was no other way to do it.
It wasn't a had to thing. It's just, is that how you do it? Oh, okay. So you just did it. Right. That's.
And I remember
this
my
is back
grandma,
in the days of drinking out of the garden hose. And
that's right.
Fucking right. playing. You hold onto the bumper of a car during the snow and slide down the road.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, just because y'all had chrome bumpers doesn't mean that you guys were the only generation to drink out of a damn hose. You think I wanted to go in the house to get some water? They'd make me stay in.
No, exactly.
So you'd have to use the hose.
Yep.
You gotta let the hot water run out first, or you burn your mouth.
Exactly.
But that's right. But yes, Mikey, were you allowed to play Red Rover? Yeah, that was like the best game to clothesline your.
What about lawn darts?
Oh yeah, lawn darts were the best.
Red Rover, aka WWF Little Kid Edition.
Yes, sir.
Macho Man, some third grader.
No, that was the days, man, when you could do stuff like that and you could be outside and
Those heated up metal slides that you would go down in shorts and burn the shit out of yourself, and the layer of skin would go missing, and then
Oh, you mean the pork rind machine?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Just peel a little off the back, just a little bit, just it curls right off.
Like me some of that back leg bacon.
I remember burning my skin off on one of those things and having like a little raspberry right there where it was just gone. I was like,
"Yep."
Oh, the skin's not there and it's gone. And then
it's still on the slide and it's sizzling.
And then you got to take a bath the next
night. Throw a leg on there with it, have a little skin and eggs. Or something.
So then that night you got to take a bath and you just know
it's gonna hurt.
The raspberry's waiting on you.
Your mom puts that. You ever Bactine?
Oh God,
yes.
It's
gonna sting a little bit.
Or
Fuck Fuck you!
I have flashbacks from Fight Club. Like, this is a chemical burn. Like, it was the same thing.
Do you remember Mercure comb? The orange stuff that she would put on
Yeah.
you? That was, that hurt. It hurt more than the injury did. It was ridiculous.
I'm
'Cause it
still
was
scared
iodine.
of. I'm still scared of those brown bottles with the white cap. No, 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 no.
I will hit you with a stick. Get away from me.
Get away from me.
That was probably one of my favorite ones when my stepmom would say, well, go get a willow off the tree. And I'm thinking, why the fuck would I go get a willow off the
That's
tree?
a
I know you're
switch.
going to beat my ass, and my brothers thought, let's get a little one. It won't hurt as much. That thing had sting. Okay, that has some whip behind it. You was getting marked,
It would curve like a cheetah's spine to get the terminal velocity.
Yeah.
Fuck, we used to take our towels and you do the rat tails.
Oh yeah.
And then you dip the end in water. You could take layers of skin off of that, man.
We almost got kicked off the swim team for that.
Did
you really?
Oh, shit.
We got somebody good.
Oh, no.
We all got screamed at.
Did you ever do
but
dead leg fights?
dead leg?
Mhm.
Dead leg fights. You stand there with one of your legs in front of you, and the other guy does the same thing, or the other person,
Yeah.
and you punch him in the thigh like as hard as you can,
Oh,
and then he does back, or in my case, it was always the he's back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But I slam him, and then the first one to fall loses.
Mhm.
And you'd have like I swear I should have
Bruises.
cancer in my leg by now because of all the damn bruises I had on my leg from dead leg fights.
you're gonna have like a special compartment of just scar tissue, like RoboCop.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mentioned these kinds of stories to one of my supervisors at work. He goes, "Oh, you had quite the exciting life back then. So what happened?" I go, "I got old."
Exactly.
A lot of wear and tear.
Besides,
We're-
people don't like it when you
little
walk up
body.
to them and slug them in the leg. for
No, but we
reason.
sure liked it.
Dead
when
leg
we were a
fight!
kid.
Ow, motherfucker!
My older brother, the one who passed away, he was known for going, let's see who hits the softest, right? And he go, I'll go first.
Oh.
And he would wail on you and then laugh and go, I guess I lost. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you suck.
So now you guys are triggering memories for me. I remember being on you.
Me
I know
too,
you
brother.
guys probably did this too. Like you're on the jungle gym and they got like the monkey bars.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Remember chicken fights?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would
I
just
do.
wrap your legs on your friend and make them.
we had our own in the
fall.
backyard. My dad bought us this giant one and stuck it in the backyard. And
What was
yeah, some
wrong
teeth
with
were
us?
lost. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
was
I mean, what
wrong?
about tetherball? We used to stand in line to hit a ball
Yeah.
back and forth
Whack.
around the yeah.
That's 75 RPMs. It's a fucking basketball going at 80 miles an hour at a little kid's face.
Oh yeah. But that was fun back then, It wasn't. But then again, that
childhood
was,
trauma.
it was
That's what you miss
fantastic,
playing
yes.
Atheist.
It was
Oh
fun
my
to do.
God.
Your parents would put you on your bike and say, "Okay, go play," and you'd be gone for the whole day. You had to just be
Yeah.
out back when the lights came on, the street
Yeah.
lights came on, and there was no fear of abduction and molestation.
That's why we had
and all that.
wrist rockets and we took out all the street lights. 'Cause they
Oh
wouldn't
my
come on
gosh!
again, right?
Yes,
So-
yes.
Well, Dad, they didn't come on. Well, that's because you killed them all.
Not my fault.
Scientists may never figure out why those lights went out.
That's right.
They still debate the answers to that question today.
Oh, they will, and they'll continue to, because some people were better with the rocks than others. Like I had one brother that could really do the wrist rocket thing, and then he'd go pick up his ammo, so nobody would find the rocks. I'm like,
Rocks. I used to use BBs.
oh,
Those steel balls.
Fancy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I had to just use the rubber bands from the post office and a stick.
Yeah.
Just
That
grab
worked too.
grab gravel.
That worked, it was, oh God, it did
Well, in
work.
school, you could do that. You grab the rubber bands, put them across your fingers, make your own little,
Oh yeah.
fucking, what do you call it? And then you put like the paper wads and fold them, and then.
Oh, yes. Do you guys
V-bombs.
remember those little triangle footballs that you would make and try to
Yep.
kick it through
Play
the
football.
goalpost?
Square
That
ball.
was-
Do you guys ever play square ball?
Or play
Foursquare?
Foursquare.
Well, we called
Foursquare.
it square ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best when you had the tricky people who would either hit it too hard because you're standing too close, or you stand back and they'd hit it really soft and go in the itty bitty part of the corner. You're like, oh my God, what is going on? I hated that. But what about dodgeball?
I was about to say Foursquare quickly turned into dodgeball because it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I'll ricochet the ball off of his face.
Let's just
There's
call
no
it what
way.
it is. Just beating the guy in the head with a ball.
Yeah.
It
Look
was
out,
good
ball.
old fashioned fun. What are you talking about?
It's called fun ball. Here's how you play, and then you just hit him in the face with the ball. And I
Mind
won.
you, dodgeball. That's actually aptly named. It's kind of like dodge is the perfect thing to put on the front of a van that's coming right at you.
Oh yes. What was that from the movie? If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball or
Dodgeball.
something
Yeah.
like that from dodgeball. Yeah.
That was dodgeball. Yeah.
Wait, it's
The
funny
legend
that
Patches O'Houlihan.
oh yes, that's it. Patches O'Houlihan. That's fantastic. And it's funny that see we're sitting here talking about old times and everything like that, and my mind just wandered to my group of my community, and I'm sitting here thinking, I cannot wait because we're getting together as a community to celebrate student Dr. Ben's graduating and being an actual doctor, not just a student, and we're doing that as a community, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hang out with these people in person. And
For sure.
and get to know them more as a person. Like I cannot wait till the next Better conference because my butt's going to be there, and I'm going to enjoy getting to know all of you on a more personal level. It's going to be amazing. There is going to be another one, right?
Another
Better conference or best? What was better, right?
better.
Better.
I'm sure. I don't know. I still haven't even heard if there's going to be another Faithless Forum yet. Thomas hasn't gotten back to me.
Oh.
I believe so, but I think they're going to, skip a year kind of thing and do it the following.
Yeah.
Because it costs a lot.
Yeah.
So, real quick, before we carry on, we have a triple coins haiku, if you like, from Canadian Ollieman.
Here we go.
I like to smoke weed and eat marijuana things. I'm high as fuck. Shit. You had to fit the shit in just to make it a haiku.
Oh my goodness.
I never said my friends were smart. That's pretty funny, Ollie.
It is pretty good, I have to admit. I thought Ollie Man would be busy watching the Disc Golf Worlds because the 5-day tournament started today. And
call them out.
We are big disc golf fans in this house. So we watch. My husband and father-in-law were sitting upstairs watching it when I was getting ready to come down. I'm like, who did what? What are we doing? None.
I'm not doing the after party. I'm not doing Disc Golf Fest 2022. It's not happening.
You don't like disc golf at all?
It's a joke. It's fine. It's fine.
No, you really you're not a fan, right?
Just online humor.
Yeah, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Sorry.
It's a bit.
I should have said that I have an issue sometimes telling when something's a joke and when something's sarcastic and not real. For some reason, sometimes it just right over my head. And I'm like,
you know, that was the absolute worst thing you could have told me, right? And I'm going to make you believe wilder and wilder things about me.
That's all right. Bring it on. You'll probably improve my ability to see the sarcastic then. So
Gauntlet so thrown.
Challenge accepted, sir. Let's see what we get. No, I truly enjoy you, Mikey. Every time that I've been in a chat group or on a panel where you've been or anything like that, you always make me smile. And that's something that just the way you interact and the way you are, it just makes me smile.
That's because I'm a fool.
Okay, I'll take it. All right,
Yeah,
whatever.
I always have a barf bag on hand.
Well, Neil,
I say foolish things.
I will tell you, Neil, you actually remind me, please don't get mad at me, of
here
my
it is.
father-in-law. You remind me so much of my father-in-law. He's quite a bit older than you are, but
I would hope.
Well, he's 72. So
Almost there, Neil.
he has
72.
He has the
No, 27.
He likes to smoke the marijuana and just be like your hair. Your hair reminds me of when he was younger. He was the big old hippie person. Like my father-in-law was actually at Haight-Ashbury watching Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix perform live for free. I was like, no way. I mean, the things he's seen are unbelievable. So that's what you remind me of. Whether it's true or not, or I didn't even hit anything, that's what you remind me of.
Wow.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
Old hippie.
Well, I know you're not quite that old, but
Oh, I'm old, but I'm not 72.
No.
There's ways to go before I'm 72.
Well, good. Good.
About 6 months.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus.
10, 9.
That's one of the things that that I kind of struggle with today is that my father-in-law is very much believes in God, and he is a theist and all things. He talks about it whenever I let him do whatever he is. He's 72. He needs people to, oh my God. I hope that's funny. That's funny.
Oh, shit. That's good.
But the other day he was telling me, he was going on and on and on about, well, don't you think God has anything to do with this? And I just finally looked at him. I said, Scott,
Nope.
God doesn't exist. And he's like, what? I'm like, no.
It's a fucking myth.
He goes, really? You're an atheist?
God is a
I said,
scam.
"Yes." Yeah.
Don't be a victim.
And he tells me, he goes, why do you let me go on and talk about it? I go, makes you feel better. What do I care? You're 72. Okay. I'm not going to try to rock your world at this point in time. You can smoke your pot, listen to your records, and have a good rest of your life. And that's okay. I
There
don't
you
care.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, Deb, if you could go back in time, what would you say to your younger self to sort of maybe push that direction a little quicker?
Oh, you're good enough. You are enough. Be true to yourself. That's what I would tell myself.
Okay, I was going to say suddenly you're Stuart Smalley.
And gosh darn it, people like me. I wanna just do a quick shill for a company. They make these really great. I don't think I have any of them in here. I haven't been wearing them around the house, but I wear them when I'm out. They're like these little elastic wristbands you can get, and the company's called Zox, ZOX, and they have inspirational little quotes on the inside. Like I have one that I usually wear. It's like "Po body's nerfect," because I have a tendency to want everything to be perfect all the time, and I have to remind myself that it's fine, fix it later. But I have one I bought some for my wife, and one's like "To the moon and back," and it's got like a wolf howling at the moon, and like a cool like purpley celestial stuff.
Oh,
and the other one is "You Are Enough," and it's got like a cool like floral pattern on it. Because sometimes you got to hear that, and
you do.
You got to hear that.
And I think that if we as a society could spread that thought process or, deliver that message when we see people, because, people have bad days. I've walked by many of people having a bad day and I'm like, you all right? They're like, it's just a bad day. I'm like, well, you know what? Tomorrow will be better. And, and just give that little push, that little encouragement. I think that we truly would be in a much better space because it would take away the hate and the ridiculousness of, because there's always going to be hate speech. There's always going to be people who don't like what you're doing or against something because it rubs them the wrong way. But
can't please 100% of people 100% of the time.
That's right. And I just think that if we could get to, really, and it starts with your community, and the community that I'm a part of, this community really does absolutely 100% practice that. They're all about helping each other and supporting each other and holding each other up. And I like I said, I've never found that anywhere else. I've never found it in a church. I've never found it in any other group. This is the group of people that have supported me and been 100% behind Deborah being Deborah. And it's an amazing feeling. It's absolutely amazing. And go figure, look at, they're all atheists. Well, isn't that what would the church say to that?
How convenient.
I need one of those, a rubber band for your arm. Is that what you like the Tang is Live ones and all that, like those sort of ones, right?
No, they're like think of like like you're like a good hoodie. You know how it has like those good cuffs? It's like that kind of material. So it's like a stretchy fabric kind of thing, as opposed to because I saw this and do good, be good. This is from Dirty Work. Is this from Tang? This might be from Tang.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I did. It is here. Yeah, so it's like this.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Po body's nerfect.
I love that.
Yeah, it's got like cool patterns and stuff. I got the link up here. I'll drop it in here in case anybody needs a smile.
Has he got one that says "Don't be a douche canoe"?
Maybe not yet, but I don't know that we can't work out something with them to get the official "Don't be a douche canoe." We'll put like a little moose on there.
Make
it
be like the Canadians. Don't be a douche canoe, eh?
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be a long bracelet. I'm just saying. I don't know how bracelets can be long.
It'd be a belt at that point.
Pick some long words.
One of them goth chokers.
Oh, there you go. That
just
would
be
be
a
perfect.
It'd just be a corset.
I tried one of those once. I couldn't fucking breathe. I'm like, nope. Snip.
No, you have to pay extra to get me in a corset.
But you'd be so lovely in a corset.
I'd
Come
wear
now.
a corset. What the hell?
Push everything up and
Put some
accentuate
fake
your
boobs in it
waist.
or something.
Do you remember Game Boys when those came out?
Yeah.
That's the shape of my body.
No, but
You remember the Mr. Pretzel guy on the bag?
The old school Game Boy.
Yeah.
That is my current body type.
Oh, okay.
Just a box with a weird
He's
display.
got to lift his shirt. He's got a screen and everything.
Yeah, a couple of buttons.
Except he hates it when you start going like this at him.
Hey, stop putting in the cheat codes for Contra. Get off me. Where the coin goes. That's not where the coin goes.
Run away. Is there anything else you wanted to add on top of that, Deb, before we wrap this up and get into an after party?
Just if I could, just for a second, just remember everyone who's out there, please.
Oh, that's time. No.
Okay. I need more than a second. I need 10. Oh, not really. I need more. But anyway, just remember anybody who's out there, if you're having an issue with your mental health and you want something talked about and you want a place that you can come and talk about it, please watch my channel, watch my podcast, engage in it, because I will answer your questions. My producer Beck is really good about getting the questions up there so I can see them and answer them. But just remember, you're not alone. And there is somebody out there that cares about you. And I want you to come and I want to help. Thank you.
All right.
Damn it, Brian.
Oh, the cheat code. There it is.
What do I get? Apparently you get a damn it, Brian. That's what you get. All right. Yeah. Well, Deb, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. And
Thank
being
you for having
encouraging
me.
to people that need help.
Are you still nervous?
No, I feel better now.
Okay.
It's just,
because it's over.
I'm brand new to this game, so this is a big thing for me. And again, I'm learning to trust myself and be what's the word I want?
Brave.
Be able to be brave in myself. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
be brave.
So thank you for making me feel comfortable and letting me share my story. I appreciate
Well, I
it.
told you we would.
And I
That's right, you did.
I have the exact opposite mindset. If I really think that I'm doing something, I should probably ask somebody. I'm very reckless. I
Are
make
you?
bad decisions. I have to confer with a very large committee of people to make sure that I'm not driving myself off a cliff on a weekly basis.
Is it this way? Where are you going? Ah!
So guys, I have an idea. I'm gonna do nothing but this. I'm selling off all my equipment, and they're like, "Oh wait, stupid, get back there! Don't do that."
Well, it was a
Yeah.
pleasure having you on, and I'm glad you were able to do this, and I'm glad you weren't nervous. I told you wouldn't have to be, because you've been on screen with us before, so you really didn't have to be.
Somehow I managed to get into an after party before I'd actually been on your show.
It happens.
I think that's because Beck wanted to sneak me on.
Beck put me in a headlock and said,
Is
"Look,
that what it
put
was?
Deb in the
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
I couldn't reach Neil for the tag, and he had to just tap out.
There you go.
Nothing could be done.
But really, truly, you guys, thank you.
He came
so
over,
much.
kind of grabbed me, give me a couple shots to the face. Put fucking Deb in the after party. I was like, okay, my fucking nose, damn it.
Threatened to pull his eyeball out.
But thank you so much, you guys, for having me on. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share and
Absolute pleasure.
let people know what I'm about.
Thank you everyone over in the YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter for hanging out and watching. I appreciate it when you're here with us, because we get to interact with you from time to time, and I really like that. And my patrons, you guys are awesome. Thank you for all you do for the show. We do appreciate it very much. Don't forget that there are links to find Deb below. You can stalk her on Twitter And also, I just threw in the YouTube channel link there as
Thank
well,
you.
so you can go and subscribe. Let's get her to 100 by the end of tonight's after party, which is coming up in a little bit. We are going to take a bit of a break. If you'd like to be involved with us, then just let Mikey or myself know one way or another, and we shall get you a link, and you can jump in here and hang out and meet Deb and, you know, give them internet thanks for all you do kind of stuff and whatnot. And yeah, we'll have some fun. Probably run for a couple hours. I got to open early tomorrow, so I got to kind of bail early. But
Yeah.
and you guys got on the way home tonight from work. Apparently, a large truck with a lumber load covered the entire highway.
Whoa.
So I had to reroute and go all the way around, and I still got home faster than I would have if I had sat in that traffic, because it was literally a standstill
No,
from
thank you.
like 7 different directions. This one place fucked 7 different directions up.
I'm pretty sure the Royal Mounted Canadian Police have a SWAT team of beavers for just such. They have like the German Shepherds train. Like,
Well,
Bucky,
yeah,
come on,
they do.
come on, Bucky.
I got the pictures right here of them gnawing on the trees to get them the fuck out of there.
Oh my God, that is fantastic.
They just split them up right there on the side of the road.
Exactly. All right, beavers, go to work. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Canada.
They call them timber wolverines.
Timber Wolverines. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Oh,
I got a new
goodness
little
sake.
plaque for the back of my vehicle too. It says Beskar Edition. It's got the mud
Oh.
horn on it and it's got the gun on it. It's great. And
Yes.
it looks like a legitimate plaque, like edition kind of thing that they throw on some of those vehicles. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and we should be doing this in the
Yes.
after party. Until then, guys, like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge, and I think I need new taglines. But anyway, until then, guys, we'll see you in the after party.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Anybody see me for who I am? Too relate, but somehow I keep getting jammed. The real me inside is screaming to be heard, but I can never turn my vision